it should be, but we all know it's not.
Yeah, because you learn very early that alligators are actually pretty calm and don't view humans as a food source per se. They have to be kind of taught that.
Yeah, but you know, this is Florida. And Florida man's a thing.
Florida man is such a thing.
Alright, cool. I need to make sure my back wasn't turned to the camera. I'm gonna make sure we have volume, because that's also important. Yay, we have volume. Okay, so people can hear us. So, I'm gonna grab this.
Man, you're prepared. You get cards.
I got cards. I got all the things.
And shit.
Alright.
Pugsy, see your mama. She is right.
Alright, hi guys. So, I'm Girlfriend. This is Leather and Laces, an interview series of people of boot black and leather lifestyle and people in the general community that I admire and adore. I have with me Callie Sinclair today. As a reminder, if you are under the age of 18, please click off now. This is not for you. This is, if you are under the age of 18, please go check out Scarlet Teen. Their podcast is great stuff for BDSM and kink things. This is not for you. Not yet. Come back after you're 18. More than happy to let you watch then.
In the words of Shin Chan, come back when you're old enough to buy cigarettes.
That. Yes, please come back then. But for now, if you're over 18, you're more than welcome to join us today. Today we're going to be talking about Callie Sinclair and all the things that she's done. Super important. These are...
That's a long list.
That's a lot.
Some of them are classified, I
Oh, good. And this is their opinion, not mine at all. So it does not reflect on my title or our title.
Our title.
That's our title.
Well, technically, like, AJ Porter somehow fathered me, I guess, and then, like, I gave birth to AJ, and then fathered you. So
yeah.
This just got extra southern.
It did. We live in Florida. Our title's for Florida.
It's all over the place.
It's a little messed up. Okay, so this is Callie Sinclair. So who are you? What are your pronouns? And what's your contact info?
So I'm Callie Sinclair. I was recently upgraded to Sir, which I'm thrilled with. I like Daddy just fine. And he, she, her, they, or them are all acceptable because I usually play masculine, but I'm not, like, I don't identify as a male per se. I'm very genderqueer fluid.
And Barney.
And Barney. And really, no one wants to know what Barney has in there, but we've all seen it.
Oh, so proud. Oh, FPE. Your contact info. Where can people find you?
I have an email. It's flcommunitybootblack2018@gmail.com.
Dope. Is there any Facebook or Twitter or anything?
I am
like
Callie Sinclair on Facebook. Really
Dope.
unoriginal.
Dope. Even works better.
Even easy to find out.
And what are we cleaning today?
I don't know. Are we still doing that?
Yeah.
So I have some boots and I have,
Okay, so we're gonna do some boots today.
Sure.
So we're these boots are staying in Florida, correct? They're not traveling any weird.
Not that I'm aware of. No, I have no plans for travel.
None of us do.
Coming to see you was like a major endeavor.
You also got a hutch out of it.
I know for my
hutch life. Yeah, no, I'm getting new hutch. They wanted a new hutch, so I figured, like, here.
Yes.
Plus, hey, you want to do this with me?
Yeah, I want to do. What are we doing?
I mean, we could do that later, but that's for my OnlyFans pages. So if you want to see that, that's later. So that's always good. What products would you like me to use on your boots? I've got Obenovs, I've got Oxys. Okay, I got Black Rock. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some of that all set up for us.
The boy did not bring my bag in, so we're using your stuff.
It's fine. I have a giant kit here that comes apart.
Look at you.
I'm super prepared.
One of the things I liked, I have a giant thingy. I have a bin of giant thingies, but anyway. At Harbor Freight, I found one of the, like in a garage, it's like this little stool on wheels, and it has drawers in the front, and I like putting all my cloths and brushes in that so that if I was at an event or like quick fix stuff, like you need a new eyelet, you need something dyed or painted, it's all in the little drawers. And then I got that fishing bag, and it's bright pink, so it doesn't look like anybody else's. And if I was going somewhere quick, like just doing a charity thing instead of bringing the whole
Yeah, I like
kit.
that.
Yeah,
You
when
can
I
split
was,
this up.
yeah, I could kind of tailor what I was bringing depending on what was needed.
Nice. Oh, you're fine. She's gonna stay. She's a heavy bottom. She's a heavy bean.
My favorite kinds.
Would you like white or yellow?
It doesn't matter. I think probably yellow is fine because they're black.
Okay.
I think that's what I put on the line.
That is fine. I want to make sure.
I don't think I have anything more exciting on them than dog drool, which is in sand, which is constant.
We're in a primary dog drool territory here in sand.
They're very sweet.
So I'm going to be using Fidbird's yellow saddle soap today. A little black saddle brush. And a brush. And that's brown. This is my black one. I have all my shit separate out.
Look at you.
I try to be. Alright, can you tell me your top 3 kinks?
My top 3 kinks.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Because I know
So,
that you and I both can list off.
Yeah.
Like
There's-
the world.
It's like shorter to say what I'm not into. But I really like littles a whole lot and like pet plays, which I know some people take umbrage with for like puppies and doggos, but just can we condense it ish down to that for semantics? Oh, you put me where you want me.
You got you.
I do. I really like impact play, and I like free. I'm really hard with lists, so we'll just leave it with that. Yeah, that's 3. That's 3.
Those are good 3. I was also thinking mummification.
I do like that. Yeah.
Because you and I both like bond over that.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the boy fits so conveniently into duct tape and saran wrap and all kinds of things. He's just very portable and easy to condense.
Nice. Awesome. Alright, so when did you discover that you were a leather person?
Oh, pretty early on, I knew I liked the smell of leather. And I actually kind of lucked out. I had an unexpected mentor. I did the Bay Area Renaissance Festival when it was at the Largo location.
I was there last year.
Yes,
It was
that was
so
too.
much fun.
I don't think we saw you, but
Mm-mm.
so this was circa 2016. No, 1996. Oh my God, I'm old. Anyway, so me and my best girlfriend were like, yeah, these are newly loose. They didn't fit for a while. So me and my best girlfriend had just discovered, you know, the story of O and Sleeping Beauty and all that, and we were like, we're so kinky, which was pre 50 Shades for those judging at home. And you should be, because it's sad. But we were like,
Shut
we
up.
do all these things. No, I meant us. I meant us as like, we're in high school and we're ready for, you know, S&M. But luckily, we ran into somebody who was a capped sir and was really awesome about talking with us about things. And then when we finally turned 18, he took us to a leather club and took good care of us, made sure that we were safe, and kind of like started us on our leather journey.
That's super nice.
It was really nice because he could have been creepy and rapey, and we would have.
Leather people are everywhere.
Yeah.
It just proves the fact that you can get your leather anywhere, even Renaissance festivals.
Yes.
We've got someone on Twitch. Come and says hi.
Hi.
He's also in the living room helping the boys fight over IKEA furniture. I've got all my partners in the house today.
I threw my boy in because he should be.
Make friends.
Make friends.
Make friends. Cool stuff. Yeah, we talked about that in an earlier podcast. What has your journey as a woman in the leather community been like for you?
So this is kind of weird. I mean, early on, I was just very aware, even prior to per se leather journeying. You know, you spend a lot of time at gay clubs because that's where everything happens, and it's predominantly gay men. So I tend to think of leather clubs in the back of my mind somewhere as a gay men's space that I'm occupying with their permission. You can just shut that out. So I'm very conscious of not trying to flirt with them and other things. So it's been a journey for me to be granted a space to share instead of like trying to prove that I've earned my space. I'm mostly interested in women, which is how I've always been. and just being grateful for the corner that I'm allowed, and now things are a lot different, and I really appreciate that. But also, I've noticed some people in the kind of Gen X, early millennial space who we didn't have genderqueer, we didn't have gender fluid, even if we kind of were.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you had tomboys, or you had, you know, kind of sissy boys, or, you know, whatever, and so we're kind of like, am I enough to be using they? I don't necessarily think of myself as trans, and I don't want to take those folks' words that they worked hard for. So it's an odd renaissance of rediscovery.
Gotcha. Cool stuff. I also use the pronoun they.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I'm very, very conscious of that as well, but I do have some.
Like I'm not a good mommy. I raised a bio child, so I wasn't a good mommy then. Like I was a good parent, but I somebody started calling me daddy and it stuck, and I was much more comfortable as daddy.
What has been your favorite piece of leather?
My favorite piece of leather is probably, I have a black leather dress that I wore a whole bunch during my title year. It laces in the back, and the bra part in the front doesn't fit worth a crap, because it wasn't like made for me. I bought it on eBay, but it was like the first non-shoe, non-belt, non-accessory piece of leather clothing that I could buy, and I was super proud of it.
Nice.
So I know that's odd, but probably that.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Are you comfortable?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I want to make sure that you're okay while I'm screwing
I am oddly flexible, so you can just move
I know,
me on around.
She gave me an off-camera demonstration of
Yes,
here.
I can do a split.
She could bean. So what does Florida Community Boot Black and Florida Leather Sir and Leather Boy mean to you?
It means a lot. Like, at the risk of sounding cheesy, it means, you know, community and always having friends and always having people that you can do things for. I identify as a service top, so I really enjoy taking command of aspects of my community that I can do things for. That works in with my boot blacking as well, because I like my boy to look a certain way. I want his leather to be clean. I want him to be presentable. I want people, you know, to see that, you know, everything's, switch. Everything's like where it should be and looks nice and conditioned and all that, because he is mine and I take pride in that. And that translates to other areas of the leather community for me as well. I like mentoring people to take care of their leather and to know their history and to understand like how different things have become even in just a couple of decades, which is a crazy fast period of time.
Yeah.
I've learned. So the short answer is that I really loved my title year. Shameless promotion for Master Bill Hoppner, because he is just incredible.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah. I am the least organized person on the planet, I feel like sometimes. And we probably, well, Boy Jeff was really good, but Sir Jonathan, Michael, and I were, you know, all over the place. It's hard to corral tops. We're awful. And we're like, over here now. And they were just leaps and bounds and miles ahead of us on everything, and I was really impressed.
Nice.
So I want to give back the good that I had.
Gotcha. So those of you who don't know, Callie was the title holder for Community Boot Black in 2018.
Yep.
And they were amazing.
That was a hot mess.
I mean, I'm a hot mess, and I'm
That's
still
true.
doing this in a
That's
pandemic,
That's
a
true.
panorama.
Yes. I've had my vaccines. I've been recently tested. I know what my temperature is.
I don't leave house, guys.
Yeah.
This is why there's only 2 a month. Is because I can only like do 2 a month because of COVID. I gotta take 2.
Super careful. I have a 90-year-old grandmother I worry about, so.
Yeah, we make sure that we're
Oh,
safe.
yeah.
Okay. Card, move, fly, bye-bye. What does it mean to have a title family?
So having a title family was something that I did not appreciate enough when I was like, oh, I have title brothers now. That's kind of neat. Oh, and there's greater community of title people. I mean, I'm kind of the, well, anyone can be a title holder, which is true. I don't think that it gives you God powers by any means. I think it puts you very much on an unexpected pedestal where everyone is watching you and has opinions about you and judgments. And that's not always a bad thing. It holds you accountable, and it should. It should make you take a really deep look into your life and what you appreciate and what you do and what you do for others and how your actions and words affect others. And that's something that I really tried to work hard on, and I felt very confident that my Leather Brothers were doing as well, and other previous elder title holders made very clear to us, like, oh good, you got it, excellent. So now I know some people just use it as a platform to get laid or to be weird or, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a community title that we can do a lot better, and we owe it to those who come before and after us to do a lot better.
I think the Florida
Yeah.
community, especially for
Yes.
that, like us as Floridians, like we're always talking about elevating
Yeah.
one another and each other,
Yes,
like within ourselves,
Mhm.
and I think that's a super important thing.
it is. And
'Cause
even
I saw that through your title
Yes.
year, and I'm like, that's so dope. Like I'm so
yeah,
way down for
there
that
was a
message.
lot of not good that came before and after,
Sure.
and we owe it to everyone together, our greater community of siblings, to make that right and to smooth the waves. And in any family, there's always going to be bickering and fighting, but you don't have to love each other all the time to get along and to do the right thing.
We aren't all the Brady Bunch.
No.
We're really, really sorry.
No, and it would be weird if we were.
Yeah.
No one wants that many blonde white kids in one space. Not at all.
Not me either. Alright. Yeah, you stay. What is a good piece of judging advice for you?
Good piece of judging advice,
Yeah.
I think. So,
Because you've sat on many judge panels. And
not
such.
many. Yeah,
A
most of the
few.
judging that I've done has been in the pup community. And I think the biggest thing that I've taken away is to not just focus on what you would do,
Mhm.
but to think about not just that person, but, you know, and it really applies to any other aspect of any life.
You're fine.
It's, yeah, just put it
I'm
in-
all up in your crotch. I'm sorry.
You know, you're
But
not,
not
the
really.
first, you're not the last, you know.
I hope I'm not the last.
God, me too, that'd be
Tragic.
awful. I'm on the shelf, I'm only 41. Nah. So, is to not judge somebody based on what you have going on in your life. Where you would be, what you would have done, is to just take whole account of that person, because somebody who maybe doesn't have a great amount of gear or doesn't have a whole lot of money to put forth may still be an absolutely incredible ambassador in their flavor of kink or their gift to the community of their own skills, talents, and abilities. And they may have challenges that they've come up and over that you couldn't even begin to compete with. So it's more than stand and model. It's very much more than.
Squeeze in.
No, you're good.
I get to come in closer.
And the ability to knock shit over.
Same.
But I have super cute undies with skulls and flowers, so
Yay.
I'm not gonna like moon any shoulders.
No, you're fine, and even then you're censored covered, so there we go. Twitch, don't kick me off.
No, I took pains to like actually wear a panties today. Not even boxers, because I knew this would happen. All right, so I guess that's the main thing, is to just consider the person as a whole.
Thanks. I'm gonna grab my small flashlight and double check my work, because these get to walk out of here and represent me.
They do. Should I get the black light?
I don't know if you want to reveal all that.
No, it's out of batteries for a reason. Has been for years.
That one's gone. That's okay, it's my backups.
Backups.
My backups to my backups.
Backups to the backups.
We don't have backups.
That's all right.
That's alright, I'm just gonna eyeball them with the ring light. I'll make sure I hit every spot that I did.
But these guys are hard to do. They're being worn because they're partly slouchy.
I can see that.
Yeah,
But slouchy boots are still valid boots.
they are. These boots are great.
They're really pretty. I'm like, ooh, I get to play with these?
Yes.
Yay! I'm sure someone out there is loving this.
Sure, lots of people are over.
Alright, turn that. Second. I'll close this up. While I get to everything. What advice would you give someone who wants to run for a leather contest?
Make sure you really want to do it. There's a few. I was not expecting to run for a contest when I ran for a contest. And I was not as prepared as I could have been. I will probably run for other things in the future with a lot of knowledge that I have on board now. I would recommend talking to other people, getting a feel for your strengths and weaknesses, taking it as constructive criticism and not offense, and finding what you can work on of yourself, not just the skill set that you're going to be competing for. And get used to getting along with a lot of people from other areas that you're not used to. Travel, check out other contests.
Sure.
Realize that it's a big expense. Learn how to fundraise. It sounds stupid, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, I gotta be really solid in these skills like now.
Yes.
You know, are you? So that's a good time to know beforehand.
Yeah. No, I agree, because
Yeah.
I was talking to a couple of our title friends, and they're like, save your money
Yeah.
and get Google Calendar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those two things will save your life.
Yes. But also be aware of your history and what, you know, other people before you have done. Not just who was title holder back 8 years, or, you know, who are your judges, or who is your panel, but also what kind of fantasy did they do? Don't do the same thing as the guy, you know, the year before, or the lady 2 years ago. Be original.
I like it.
Yes.
Alright. What is Elder Downs, and how has it affected your life in the community?
Oh, Ehlers-Danlos has been just a pile of assholes. And I don't have it as bad as some people. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I lost a crap ton of weight, which is great, because my doctors had been like, you should totally do that. And my joints became incredibly unstable, and I realized that that what I had suspected was probably arthritis actually really was arthritis. I started going to an endocrinologist and a rheumatologist, and I would be unable to walk because my knees would just completely dislocate and drop me. My hands got worse and worse and worse, so that greatly compounded my boot blacking abilities. After a long journey of you're not crazy and you're not fat, long story short, I have a chronic illness. It's a connective tissue disorder. It can affect a lot of different areas of the body. It can affect the vascular system, so the heart and cardiac systems. Obviously the connective tissue and bone areas.
I'm feeling back here.
No, you're good.
I'm feeling for any strings, because it's
Facilitate you. There shouldn't be any.
There
strings.
should. I didn't see any.
I went over these. Not
I
that
didn't
one.
see any, so I believe you.
Yeah. I don't like to put my leather back unwashed. So basically, it's a degenerative joint condition in my case. That means that I can do less and less and less boot care and leather care, which has been a horrific blow as someone who's like, no, I'm in control. I can power through this. And I had to learn that I feel pain, which sounds intrinsically obvious, but it isn't.
Yeah.
My doctor's like, does this hurt? No. Does this hurt? Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I like pain.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just
But
like,
I'm like,
you can do that more.
So yeah, I had to accept that, you know, we were fostering a kitten and it walked over the back of my knee and I like shot up involuntarily in the air. That you know, there were no claws extended, just that tiny pressure was like, I'm having a bad joint day. I have to admit this sometimes.
Gotcha. Yeah, no.
My community has been awesome. There are a lot of other people with this condition. I have to relearn how to flog because I moved my arm and dislocated my elbow and was like, oh, so all this stuff that I've been doing for years, going to the gym, doing yoga, I've actually been worsening my rate. So I'm almost like learning to walk again. But it's good. It's good.
Okay, cool, cool, awesome. Who needs to take a water break? So hold on.
I'm always thirsty. I drink like gallons
Same.
throughout the day. Yeah.
Same. I'm a water person.
Yes.
Where did I go? Oh, I brought it here.
Look at you.
I
love that stuff.
over-prepared.
I literally will put Obanoffs in my hair.
Yes, this is Obanoff's LP. It's my
It
favorite.
smells so good.
Wait,
My grandmother saw me doing my boots, and she's 90, and she's like, "What is this? Oh, this is nice." And I was like, "Put it on your elbow." She's like, "This is wonderful." And I'm like, "You can lick it." And she's looking at me, and I'm like, "I mean, it's safe ingredient.
Yeah.
Don't use it as lube. You know what? I don't want to know."
Yeah.
But she.
You can use Hubbard's as lube, but not this
Yes,
stuff.
don't use that.
Don't use that. So what is mummification?
So mummification, at least how we do it.
Yeah, because your mummification style is very different from mine.
Yeah, so he likes to be completely immobilized, and most of the play partners that I tend to work with want that form of sensory deprivation where their options are kind of taken away from them. He likes to be wrapped up in plastic or zippered into, maybe like a body bag or a some kind of leather restraint system with just maybe his mouth and nose exposed in some minor way that he can still perform orally and smell, because those are very important to him. But maybe hearing is taken away. I leave his mouth exposed so he can obviously use that but also communicate. And we tend to leave his genital and backdoor zones available for whatever torture we want to heap upon them. And then we just use him like a toy, and he very much enjoys that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We have a certain butt plug that we use when we're
Yeah.
playing that it can be wrapped with it, and we can use our phone to screw with it all, and that's like the best, so you don't have to leave it exposed.
Yeah. I'm currently I got this table that doesn't have leaves, but it's sturdy. It's a dining room table. And I want to put something in the middle so that I can rig like a fuck machine or a milker, so I can just put him in it and just kind of enjoy the show, or maybe, myself or other partners can come over and use him serially, which is what he wants. We'll usually communicate in advance like what range of toys he wants, so he doesn't exactly know what's coming. Is it going to be a person? Is it going to be toys? That kind of thing. So there's still that element of surprise, but I'm very clear in what he wants.
Nice.
Which is important to me.
Nice. I love it. What was your favorite thing about your title year?
My favorite thing about my title year, I just really liked being wanted. I know that sounds stupid, but I loved people coming to me, and they still do, and they're like, so I have this pair of boots, and I know that I'm doing this, or, this thing happened to my sub's boots, and there's like a divot out of it, or can this even be cleaned? There's rust on my gates of hell, or let's just pretend this is frosting on my pants and harness. Can we, what do we do with that? And, hearing the leather histories of stuff, and how, even if it was dead ass wrong, how, somebody used to take care of their leather, or the horrible shit that they learned in the military that somebody taught them was like, this was so hypnotically good. Like, my ADHD is like, but yeah, so I really liked interacting with people in that way, and again, it speaks to my top side, and that I can then take control and tell them how I would do it, or be taught how to do it by someone who knows better than me, and then I'm like that much more prepared for the next time.
I always like that. What is your favorite tool in your boot black kit?
Oh, my favorite tool in my boot black kit is probably the Obenovs. I wasn't kidding. I use that for everything. You've got dry leather. There's an Obenovs for that. There you've got really baby fine stuff. There's an Obenovs for that. You've got frizzy hair. There's
Obenovs for that.
So I just.
You need to brush down the
I've really expanded the range of product that I know how to use, and I love that stuff so much.
Have you tried BlackRock yet?
No,
oh,
and
I
want to. I've seen it, and I've looked at it, and I haven't played with it firsthand, and it's awesome. So we'll do that in a minute.
Just hand me the jar.
Hello. Ooh. Oh, I like the little paper label.
Yeah, it's super
That's
cute.
so cute. Ooh.
I know.
It smells like there's a liquor. It's like the honey bourbon stuff. American honey. Yeah, it does. No.
We're gonna test it out.
We're gonna play with this while we're working here. This was recently cleaned, so I just wanted to.
I'm doing small test patches, which is what everyone should do with their stuff.
I'm doing just a top corner.
Sassy's pink vest, we did a small test patch on the inside of all the things that we had. I'm like, these two, your BlackRock or your Obenovs are your best choice.
It's funny how you'll find a product and celebrate a hard to now I can do such and such. a friend of mine had these dark ox. They weren't ox blood. They were like a weird dark red.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had been
Like burgundy or maroon.
kind of, yeah, but they were just a really odd shade, and I found a red to match them. Because before they'd just been putting like clear and just kind of hoping for the best because they were really old, and I was so excited, and it had a hint, just the barest hint of like almost a pearl or metallic in it, which they were like, that's how they looked when I got them, oh my god, you know. So yeah, Pearly, that's you. I was super excited about that, and then during my title year, I had this phenomenal, ridiculous pink, like bubblegum pink skirt that I would wear with my Team Florida thingy.
Mr. Friendly
Mr.
shirt.
Friendly, thank you. I'm like excited about product, and the rest of the brain doesn't work, less knee rubs. And it matched, and I loved it, but I couldn't find anything to like buff it and re-dye, like, because if you sit in something long enough, you're gonna scrape it here or there. And I found it at this Western wear store that was going out of business. So Jared and I had stopped there, and we're like, we'll see what they have for product, because everything's 50% off, fuck it. And we're like, why didn't we come in here earlier? They had so many obscure like dyes for different leathers. And they're like, oh yeah, we used to do a whole bunch with dressage, and so people have saddles and all these different colors, and we're like, fuck, we would have bought you out of everything, and it ended up being really good stuff. And the lady's like, oh yeah, so she like taught us about how to use all the different things, you know, beyond like what we knew how to do, but just like her experience with the product. And so that was pretty awesome. I'm liking this.
Oh yeah. I started doing small test patches on
Yeah,
things,
that's what
and
I'm
I'm
doing,
like,
is just like the couple little straps and
we'll
the
see
top.
what happens.
Yeah.
Because I love sharing new products.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I was always like, no, come use my box, not just that one. Come use my product box. And I don't know how much I spent replacing product that someone would like, oh, this is really great and I feel more confident. And it's like, just keep the bottle, just keep the can, just keep the whatever, keep the brush.
Keep the brush, yeah.
You know, just make that your start.
I like it.
And I loved it.
That's always fun. What is your definition of leather?
My definition of leather. I think we kind of covered it with brotherhood and community, brotherhood, just, I guess, personhood, siblinghood. Let's go with siblinghood.
That's right.
It's a greater community. I hate to use law enforcement or the military because of, you know, negative connotations that have come in, but in an ideal utopia of where those things would be what we romanticize them to be, that's how I think the leather community should be, where you have elders that you learn from, authority figures that help and discipline and encourage, and a community where people feel comfortable to come forward, to try new things, to explore themselves, to take a journey, to support each other in a vibe of kink.
I like it. Real question. Black rye is so much fun. Love the smell.
Yes.
Can leather and kink be political?
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, leather and kink can be very political. And I kind of think of them as cousins who grew up together, but that definitely don't always come from the same household, even if they have the same parents. And that's an analogy I've made peace with, because at some points they don't share the same foundation, and they don't always share the same goals, but I would like to think at the end of the day that we can get along and we can encourage each other.
Yeah. No, because I found that question on FetLife.
Yeah.
Like very so
and people get super heated.
Keep your kink out of my political.
Right.
And keep your leather
Right.
out of this, and I was like, no.
Right.
Like we're
It's the rule 42, like porn. If you can think of it, someone faps to it. Well, if you can think of it, someone's going to be divisive about it, or try to split.
What does leather leadership mean to you?
Leather leadership, to me, means that there's a whole bunch of history that has gotten me where I am today, and that I feel it's kind of and debt isn't exactly the right word, but you definitely owe the people who paved the way for you, to take care of the next generation that's coming in. You want to lift up others for equity, to give everyone the same positivity and the best possible experience. You don't just want them to have what you have, you want it to be better. You know, if I could shelter all kinds of baby queers and baby leathers from, you know, ever being hated or judged or whatever, I would do it in a minute. But at the end of the day, that doesn't help anyone, and if you don't have to work for something, you don't appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think being aware of how hard the struggles were that came before us in so many different facets, you really should never forget that.
How do you find time for the community?
We have kind of a 24/7, so at 4 a.m. when the alarm clock goes off, I stay in bed while he lets out all of our dogs, we have 7 of them, and feeds all of the livestock, and maybe gets stuff out of the dryer to bring to me, or puts things from the washer into the dryer, and, you know, make sure that my lunch is coordinated. And that pretty much guilts me into remembering to take all of my medications and do my PT stretches and all that, because otherwise I'd be like, I gotta go help with the dogs, I don't have time for that, because I do enjoy taking care of my animals. So we have a 24/7 thing, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in many ways, but also you have to make time to play. So coordinating, I mean, since the pandemic, we've only been like with the same 4 kind of households and then the people we work with. So making time to play and to kind of reference that with the other people in your network has been positive. Paying attention to stuff online. I really appreciate people who have been like, oh, let's do leather day at home, separate but together, or, you know, I dusted off my stuff and I'm feeling sexy today. Looking at you, Sir Jay, who I was like, that is a great idea, and it does alleviate some depression, you know, if you just do those little bitty things every day, even if you don't participate, just seeing someone else in their leather or seeing someone else living their lifestyle has been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So
can you tell about your Little Scouts community? Because I know you also run.
Yes, so my Little Scouts community has been a hot mess, because we're trying to like go in between Gainesville and Jacksonville and make everyone's schedules work for everyone, and it just seems to kind of bounce back and forth. And then
I will move this leg when I need to. Calm down.
Like, well, my leg, I'm moving how I want.
You're in my stand. I will move it how I want.
We can fight about this.
We could. Maybe on OnlyFans.
Yeah, again with it, yeah. So, no. But so it's kind of like, it was all in Gainesville, and then the Jax people weren't being very well represented, and we live kind of in between Jacksonville and Gainesville in this oasis of redneckery, hoping to help everyone at once.
Mm-hmm.
So we were all set to start. I was like, okay, after the first of the year, I think we can do enough outside activities, and we can distance, and we can mask, and, you know, those who want to come out can do so safely. So we were going to do a Valentine's Day party, but enough people were like, I'm just really not ready yet, or can we do it virtually? But then the people who wanted to come in person didn't want to do it virtually, didn't want to Zoom it. So it sort of fell apart. So we are very much open to suggestion, and we have a lot of people who want to be active and involved, but we're just kind of, I think like most other groups, trying to work through the pandemic and what works best for the most people to keep everyone comfortable.
Gotcha.
So,
we're
not
also
meant to
finding.
not meant to be a cop-out answer, it's just there's not a good way around it right now.
Gotcha. I'm using the brush to kind
I
of
know,
dull the
they look
shine
so
a little
nice.
bit.
Brushes are magic.
Brushes are magic, because I love having people look like a greased pig, and if that's the look you want, then I'll go ahead and leave you as
I
that.
have definitely been a pretty sweaty pig at times.
But I like the brush because it mats it a little bit. And keeps,
Yeah, these are not a shine boot.
No.
These are like a comfy extension of your skin boot.
Yeah, these definitely will not need the polish.
These are really earrings. You know, they're meant to be up on a shoulder, by the ears. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, trust me, I think my boyfriend would go nuts if he saw these on his shoulders.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What size shoe do you wear? We can.
9.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes!
I wear 11, but I mean they'll fit.
They'll fit me then.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
See, there you go.
All right. What's your favorite toy in your toy bag?
Oh man, favorite toy in my toy bag. I think the newest is always the funnest. So I just got this ridiculous cutting board.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at Bell's Outlet buying like dog toys, both Fire Dog and Leather Dog. And I found this cutting board. They only have one, and it said, this is our happy place. And I giggled at it for entirely too long, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. It's only like $8.
Yeah.
And I brought it up to the register, and it's heavy. It's really heavy. And the guy checking me out was like, this would be such a good paddle. And I'm like, that is 100% what it is for. And the boy who's not into impact play is like, this is false advertising. This is not my happy place, you know. And he whined to some other littles who were like, nope, this is definitely a happy place. I think you've misunderstood. So currently that's my favorite. It is very whack friendly. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Cookies. There's another person watching. Is BDSM/kink sexual?
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. I have a professional life that allows me to compartmentalize everything, so I'm pretty good at it, and probably very much too good at it. And I can be very satisfied by my kink needs, but I don't necessarily have to have sex with somebody, and that's fine. I have no problem with warming somebody up to go home to maybe a vanilla partner or someone who, for whatever reason, doesn't want to play with them in that way. And that's totally acceptable to me. That doesn't work for everyone. A lot of people are very much, their kink is sexual, and I absolutely respect that, but I can be very satisfied by just my kink.
Nice. So I'm going to put some edge coat on the end.
Yeah,
Wait
they
for
probably
them to
do that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I lost my thing. What has the leather community impacted your lecturing? What's like the number one thing it's done for you?
Oh my God. They're my friends and family. Like, there's no better example to me, at least in my life and the way that it goes, that, you know, the family you choose is really your family. It doesn't have to be blood. I absolutely could call on people 24/7 and would be glad to be called upon for any emergency or need. And I've been helped out in many ways, and I've been glad to give back. So it's wonderful.
The edge coat on my trunk.
Edging is so wonderful. Oh, what are we doing?
We're edging.
We're edging. I like it.
We're edging. And I'm messy edging.
Yes. I think it was my step down. I bought a new pair of jeans that I'm like, these are going to be huge, but that's fine. It turns out they weren't. They were tight. But I had them on maybe 2 hours before I got dye on them.
Oh, no.
Because someone brought me all this leather to fix up. And I was like, So I spent a lot of time in my hotel room fixing up leather, which was fine. It was awesome. I just kind of left the door open. This was at the Flamingo, and people, you know, would just bring me stuff or come in and boot black with me, and I was like, this is pretty great, actually. We had a very good time. But yeah, I could never wear anything that didn't end up covered in dye and product.
Why I wear black. I'm still professional, but I'm really dirty, so if you want a hug, be wary.
Oh yeah. Well, I spent like $10 on these jeans, so I'm like not sad about it, but I was like, well, these are boot black jeans now.
Everything in my closet, so this is the black thing now. What have you seen in the community, the leather community, and what would you like to see in COVID? Like, is there anything you would like to keep in since we've entered this COVID era?
I don't think it's specific to the community, but I really appreciate cultures that were using masks prior to us for any kind of sneezing, illness, whatever, because you can never be sure when someone's like, oh, it's just allergies. Do they really know that? Do they have a cold? You know, even something inconvenient. You might not be able to afford to miss work. You might not want to risk it. What comes off as a cold to you might be something more serious to you, someone who's immune compromised or otherwise impacted. So I'd really like to see more use of that, more awareness of how your germs can impact others. And I think that it's awesome to be in a free-for-all pile with people, to be sure, but you know, it's not just STIs that you necessarily need to be worried about. There's a lot more to a person's body that can affect you. But I think also in social distancing, some of the folks who maybe aren't neuronormative have a enhanced time to be able to take a step back and maybe not be as involved, or to just observe, or to have their own personal space, that we really should be more conscious of granting those folks, because they have just as much right to be there as everyone who's like, yeah, let's all hug and exclaim and be up in each other's shit, whereas, you know, some folks need a little more space and a little more room to be them.
I'm trying not to get.
I know, I'm like
my white sash.
washing the mantle, like, ah.
If I get it, then it's my fault, and I get to do it again.
It's true.
I get to do it all over again.
I cleaned that damn thing for a year.
I get to clean it this year and to whatever time period.
Yes.
Why do you think some other folk have massive issues with non-binary folks?
I think I don't have a nice opinion about that at all.
That's okay. You don't have to have a nice opinion.
I think that there's this ridiculous expectation harkening back to, you're coming into my space, so I can't just adjust to that quickly. No one's asking you to adjust. No one's asking you to do shit. This is the situation and you need to accept it. It's not up for debate.
Yeah.
You just respect people's pronouns, you respect people's boundaries. It's not really your space anymore. If we're going to be a community, we have to accept that we're a community, and you don't get to make those decisions for people and put them in boxes or labels that they don't appreciate. It's not up to me how a person presents. If you decide that you are the most masculine person on the planet and you're in a tutu, I don't really give a shit. I will go with whatever pronouns you tell me. I will treat you how you request that, you know, within reason you be treated. And as long as you're not hurting anyone else, why the hell do I need to be involved with you and your presentation? It's not up to me. Mm-hmm. You are your own person. And I think that people who feel that they have a say in somebody else's genitals or gender expression, or how they process the world mentally, or how their mental illness works because that's not how their aunts does, or whatever bullshit, it's fuck you. You're not that person. You're not the summation of their life and experiences. Kindness costs exactly nothing. If you don't like it, just shut the fuck up and be mad about it elsewhere.
What is your power dynamic?
I have a lot of partners. Yes, it's just not a bad thing. I think that's awesome. When the boy and I first started kind of dating, he didn't have a lot of words for any kind of kink, because he was from a very rural area, and he thought that he was all big and bad because, you know, he wanted to try a finger in his butt. That wasn't his, and you know, he'd always been afraid to ask to have his ass licked, and I was like, okay, so not laughing at him was adorable. He didn't know what a little was, as he's showing me his Nintendo collection, and I know.
It's okay.
It was so cute. And I'm like, oh, have I got a community for you? You know? I'm kind of socially awkward, and I don't make friends easily. I don't know if I want to go to... No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah. So kind of helping him find his footing was a lot easier than me finding my own. So that was pretty awesome. But any good submissive will tell you that they're almost the one in charge in a lot of ways, because the dom is all over the place doing things and stuff, and someone has to corral you. So I'm sort of at his mercy, like, oh, did you pack my medication? Yes. Did you do this? Yes. Did you? Oh, good. So, yeah,
Nice.
it is.
Tell us about your first experience and what you brought into lifestyle.
First experience with what?
With kink.
With kink?
At the dungeon, I'm assuming now.
No, my first experience with kink, was probably like, I'm assuming you mean like in a leather space or a kink space, not
Whichever
just
way
like,
you like.
I don't even know where to start with that because we were weird kids. This is Florida. It's wild. You know, we'd be like playing show me mine and show me yours in elementary school and caning each other with like bamboo. So that meshed real early.
I wish I had done that early. I went to Catholic school, but the nuns beat you with rulers, so probably why I have an impact fetish.
Yeah, my mom's like, if you don't get your shit together, I'm gonna put you in Catholic school. And this girl in Girl Scouts that I had it really bad for, was in Catholic school, and I'm like, I would really like that. And she's like, no, well, but could I please go to St. Cecilia's? Because Sarah's there, and yeah.
My friend's there.
Yeah, I'd like that a lot. Maybe I'll find religion or something. I started early. I was like Blanche Devereaux. I had needs and questions. And
You like it? Is there any other organizations in the community that you support? Anything about?
I mean, I think there's a lot of really good organizations that I wish I could do more for. Obviously, I like all the littles and scouts things, and I'm really a huge fan of the pup and critter play stuff, and Team Friendly Florida is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of kennels down south that are going out of their way to facilitate and help each other. I guess I kind of feel trapped like everyone else does right now because you can't get out and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll come back to that when the pandemic is lessening. I don't think it'll ever be gone, but lessening. As soon as it's gone, there'll be something else.
Yep. How do we make safe space for everyone in the community?
I think by being more accepting, and also there's a Marcus Parks is a podcaster that I like who has been very candid about his mental illness, and I took a lot of heart when he said your mental illness is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And I think we can apply that not in a way that finds the person at fault, but we need to be better at understanding our own limits and what we want out of something. And I know when you're first getting into a space or first getting into a kink, you want to know everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you want to know? Even just knowing why you're curious or what turns you on, is such a small thing that we should be aware of. I had a biological child and had never had an orgasm. I mean, that's terrible. And I had male and female partners before that, but I just didn't feel like it was my responsibility. And so that was a huge mindset change.
Mm-hmm.
And then accepting my own mental health limitations. I was raised with mental health suffering parents. Knowing what I needed for me was a really hard thing to admit for someone who wants to be in control and available for everyone. But it also helps you become more aware, well, if I need all these very specific things in every facet, so does everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And just not being an asshole, There's no reason to be racist. There's no reason to leave somebody out. There's no reason to make fun of somebody for things beyond their control. But also, maybe be aware of what your needs are, and to an extent that you're comfortable, be able to voice that. And it's not your responsibility to teach others about whatever's going on with you, but it is your responsibility to be a good person and to take care of yourself to the best of your ability to interact with others if you're asking them to interact with you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know that you're going to, I guess, want to learn about a certain thing, maybe rope or something, be hydrated, you know when you've eaten, know when your blood sugar, might tank out, know where painful areas on your body are. Don't come in bruised and beaten and cut up and be like, yeah, go ahead and put your rope all over that open sore. No.
Don't do that. Oh my God, don't do that.
But that, we don't always think about that. We hop from kink to kink sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got my ass blistered and it was awesome and I'm still covered in last night's cum. And now you want to share toys with people. That's pretty irresponsible in a lot of spaces. That's very frowned upon. That's not safe, sane, or consensual for the other people that you're now involved with. Be aware of you and what you're bringing, just as much as what you expect of others, and be better at negotiating.
All right, well, I want to thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Because it was super important, and I know it was a drive to get down here.
No, that's fine. We like traveling.
I miss traveling.
I know. It's like, this is only 3 hours.
Then we can do it. Is there anything else you want to end with?
I don't think so. I guess if anyone has any questions, problems, or concerns, I'm always happy to address them.
Awesome. Well,
So,
thank you.
Thank you. Yay!
Thank you guys. I hopefully see you guys.
Happy title year. I can't wait to see what you do. And
It's a lot of purses right now.
hopefully, big fingers double crossed. We can have at least a title out event for you. Maybe AJ will give birth again. We never know.
We don't know. Oh boy.
There he goes. He's out there like,
Don't you fucking dare.
don't put that on me. We love you.
We love you, AJ. I promise I'll have you in my seat soon. Alright, I'm gonna close the camera.
Bye. This is fun.
Oh, I'm happy we got to do this. Oh, and to back up weirdly because I sat down funny.
It's all that beautiful ass.
I know, I think I got stuck to the chair.
That's just another part of leather in Florida.
Yeah, we're in Florida.
Your seat is like soaking wet under me.
Oh, I bet it
I'm
is.
sorry.
Doop. Doop. Bye, guys. You could go goodbye now. There, end.